Jamie Dornan shocks collision. I dreamed about Dakota Johnson more than you think. A shocking moment. It all started with a simple question. The 2025 Hollywood Spotlight event was supposed to be a lighthearted exchange where stars shared about their new projects. No one, including the host, could have imagined that just one question would freeze the entire red carpet, the audience would scream, and social media would explode. Jamie Dornan appeared before the press with his usual demeanor, calm, smiling slightly, his hair a little messy, reminiscent of the glory years of 50 Shades. No one thought that today, he would become the center of the biggest shock of the year. When a young female reporter boldly asked, "Jamie, is there anything about Dakota Johnson that you have never said in public?" Jamie smiled, bowing his head slightly to avoid the bright lights. But then, the unexpected happened. The smile faded. He sighed, as if weighing the difference between silence and truth. And then, "I've dreamed about Dakota more than you think." The air exploded. Cameras panned. Livestream viewers screamed. Security thought there was a technical problem because of the increased noise. But it wasn't. It was pure chaos caused by a single sentence. Inside Jamie's heart, the dreams that can't be erased. While everyone was still stunned, Jamie continued, his voice low but sincere, as if he had carried this secret for too long and was finally willing to let it go. "Those dreams, they're not like you think. They're moments that I can't have again." How many times had Dakota Johnson, his co-star, his companion in 3 blockbuster films, the person who became a part of his youth and career, appeared in his mind? No one knew. Only Jamie, and he himself had tried to deny it. Those dreams weren't the steamy images audiences always imagined. They weren't the tabloid hype. They were the times they both burst into uncontrollable laughter backstage. The moment Dakota put her hand on his shoulder to ease his nerves. The warm look when a difficult scene was completed. The strange sense of security standing next to her in the chaos of Hollywood. Jamie's dreams weren't about the scene. They were about the feeling. The feeling that with Dakota, he was understood, without needing to explain. The unprecedented confession, and the reason he kept it a secret. When the reporter continued to ask, "Why now? Why are you saying this?" Jamie took a deep breath. His eyes were distant, looking at no one, not at the camera. He seemed to be looking at himself from 10 years ago, the young man who had just entered the bright lights of Hollywood. "Because I've been quiet for so long. Because I didn't want anyone to misunderstand Dakota," he continued, his voice trembling slightly. "We had a connection that we both knew, but we always kept it in the right place. Dakota has always deserved the utmost respect." In that moment, no one saw the strong, polished Jamie Dornan of his day. They saw a man who was telling the truth, without defense, without evasion. And that stunned the world. The untold behind-the-scenes memories Jamie will always remember. Jamie rarely talks about the behind-the-scenes of 50 Shades, but today, it seems, he has decided to open the door he has kept closed for so many years. He said, "Memory 1. Dakota held my hand and said, 'I'm fine.' During a difficult scene, Jamie was so nervous that his hands were shaking slightly. Dakota held his hand and smiled. 'I'm fine, Jamie. I'm here.' That sentence became a warm note in his mind. Memory 2. We burst out laughing in the middle of an extremely serious scene. The director was angry, the crew was bewildered. But only 2 people understood each other so well that just a look was enough to burst into laughter. Memory 3. She hugged me when I thought I was ruining the whole movie. Late one night, Jamie was disappointed in himself. Dakota arrived before anyone else. Didn't say anything, just hugged. Memory 4. Dakota was the first person to understand when I wanted to stop a scene. No explanation needed. Just looking at each other, we understood. The more Jamie told the story, the warmer his eyes became, but also revealed a vague regret, the kind of regret that many men carry with them their whole lives. The moment social media exploded. Immediately after the statement, I dreamed about Dakota more than anyone thought. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok were in complete chaos. The hashtag Jamie Dreams of Dakota climbed to #1 worldwide in just 7 minutes. Fans were divided into 3 factions. Faction 1 extremely excited. "Oh my God, I knew it, I knew it. They always had real chemistry, not acting." Faction 2 worried about Amelia Warner. "Is Amelia okay? Jamie is playing with fire." Faction 3 deeply analytical like a psychologist. They have a rare connection between two people who truly understand each other. This is not a scandal, this is real. Hollywood has never been quiet when it comes to Jamie and Dakota. But this time, the level of shock is far beyond any previous time. Former producer speaks out, surprising truth. A producer who worked with the secret couple shared with the press. "They have a kind of energy that no one else can replicate. It's not love, it's a rare harmony." He also added, "There are days when I look at them and I really think they're acting less than they're living." This made the public opinion explode even more. Jamie reveals more. Dakota is a quiet space in my life. In the next interview, Jamie continued to be honest in a way that no one expected. "I didn't love Dakota the way people think. But she was my quiet space during the most chaotic years." When the reporter asked, "So do you regret it?" Jamie smiled slightly, but it was a sad smile. "We met at the wrong time." That statement made social media seem to break down again. Bad timing, a phrase that broke millions of fans' hearts. Dakota Johnson's reaction, silent but full of hidden meaning. Dakota did not immediately respond to an interview. She posted a black and white photo on Instagram story. A cup of coffee. A vague smile of her own. And the caption, "Some truths are gentle. There are truths that come very gently." Fans immediately deduced. Dakota knew what Jamie said. Dakota accepted it. Dakota felt the same way? Or was it a gentle goodbye? No one knows. But Dakota's gentleness only made the story more touching. Jamie's inner self, what he did not say. Jamie himself understood very well. In the eyes of the world, he was a family man. A loving husband, a devoted father. But at the same time, he is also a man who remembers a golden age, where a girl named Dakota Johnson entered his life like a ray of light. Not to replace anyone. Not to take up space. Just to leave an impression. Jamie shares. There are relationships that you never want to break, but you can never forget. He doesn't run away from the past. He just wants to admit that it was beautiful and real. Closing with a word that made the world go silent. At the end of his biggest interview since 50 Shades, Jamie was asked, "If Dakota were sitting here today, what would you say?" He turned to the empty chair beside him and gave the softest smile he'd ever given. "Thank you for coming into my life, even for a little while. And thank you for the dreams, they were so much better than real." The room fell silent. Not a camera flashed. Not a cough. There was only one truth. Jamie Dornan, after years of silence, said what millions of fans felt but never heard him admit. The journey of two souls out of rate. It wasn't love. It wasn't cheating. It wasn't cheap Hollywood drama. It was a rare connection between two people who knew each other on a deep level, but were never meant to be. Jamie spoke the truth. Dakota understood the truth. The world saw the truth. And that is what makes their story one of the most beautiful, saddest, and truest chapters in Hollywood.